Morning again, Steve here with a few thoughts on something we talked about at our coffee chat the other night, which I thought was quite interesting, and I don't know what value is here, but take it for what it is. There was a couple of us discussing about the importance of recognizing our feelings or our emotions, shall we say, and there was talk of intuition as well, and there was a few of us agreed that maybe intuition has to do with our emotions and kind of like an emotional trust, right? So often we don't trust our emotions because they've got us in so many troubles, I think, and it probably stems from us having to hide our emotions as a defense mechanism in our earlier life. So if we were put down for appearing to be sissy or crying or just any kind of an emotional display which was not conforming to what others felt was the appropriate for us, then we would just bury that and hide it and ride on our some sort of a rational, um, rational or irrational for that matter, but I mean not emotion based response, or another type of emotional response, perhaps anger rather than empathy or something like that. So therefore, there's a confusion goes on because emotions, if we think about it, what they seem to be is, especially when we're around people, other people, we get to feel what the moment is like on a very deep level. And if that's true, then it's telling us something. It maybe not telling us something directly, but it's telling us something, and it's not something we have to process. It's just there. In other words, if we had some sort of prior trauma, and then something like that comes up again, we feel that. We don't have to consider it or whatever. We just feel it. We feel happy. We feel sad. We feel sort of struck. I'll give you an example. At that meeting, there was somebody there who took offense to a kind of what I thought was funny, but afterwards I realized it's obviously not funny for certain people. There was a little bit of what I thought was humorous thing about suicide. It wasn't a joke about suicide. It was a joke about some people's tendency to nag others. It was something somebody had posted on Facebook. It was a picture of an old guy with a rope around his neck hanging from the kitchen ceiling, and he had his suicide note on his chest, and his wife was saying to him, "You even spelt constant criticism wrong." And I thought that was kind of funny because he obviously was making a statement that he couldn't even, he was hanging himself for constant criticism, and somebody took a huge offense to that because they had a recent experience with knowing somebody who found somebody who was hanging, I guess, or had committed suicide. So that's an emotional response, not a rational response. But that's saying something, right? So if it's saying something, what can we derive from it? If we go into a certain circumstance and all of a sudden we feel something as a direct result of being in that experience, what is that something telling us? It's an interesting question, but if we can get to observe and realize what's telling us, and if we can somehow eventually trust our emotions again, then we have this, what we could call an emotional radar, because we don't have to figure everything out. We can just feel, and if it's right most of the time, then we have this huge valuable radar, which I think, in terms of, we're just more effective, right? And every time we can be more effective, we can potentially be more successful in what it is we do, and thereby improve the quality of our life experience. If that makes any sense. Hope this is helpful. Steve here again, great chatting. Talk again soon. Bye for now.